Welcome back to VCT Americas. We're back on the couch, but ready for action to jump into KRU versus FURIA. This is going to be a spicy one. I'm excited. Both teams have only shown a few maps. We're going to get a repeat of those, but we do get teams going to a different map on this one.
For sure.
At least.
I think most specifically, too, it's KRU. They've only shown like 3 maps so far since this stage #1, so we'll have to see where this veto is going to go, which is quite surprising, too. I think we look at the skirmish earlier on. We saw now that KRU has gotten the opportunity to choose Team A or Team B, but overall, yes, you're right. This is going to be a great matchup between 2 powerhouse teams. If you're looking at it on this screen right here for Sadak and the rest of KRU, they actually haven't even dropped a map yet this stage, and they're playing against a Team FURIA that actually hasn't dropped a series since the beginning of the year, and they're only team in the VCTs right now across all regions that haven't dropped the series yet. So a big test for both of these teams. Lots of history for a lot of the players in there too. They prepped so hard that even Coach Shaw broke his hand. But as this man right here, Koala Noob, he actually played in Ascension in 2024. He's facing off against a couple of players back in 2024 as well. If you're thinking about it, it's Coach Zonic that was coaching in All Nights back then. Play against Dante, who's now one of the best Neons that we currently have in this stage. And then also on the other side, he plays against Spike Zine, the player that he lost against in 2024 when Spike was playing on 2G.
So true. With, again, EU, though, so can get a little bit of a return to friendship there for them. As we get the maps on your screen, the Fracture banned out by KRU. That was floated by FURIA previously, so they say, no, we don't even want to float it. Then the bind ban comes through, but we get Lotus, Haven, and Split to go through the 3.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this as well is that looking at the stats, KRU, or any team so far that has won the skirmish, has always picked Team B. So the fact that KRU is picking Team A here, I think, is that they know that Fracture is a similar ban that FURIA likes to take every single time as well. So they want to take Team A to ban that map first and then see where potentially FURIA wants to take the series too. But FURIA went into their regular ban that they do as well, so now they're going to play the strongest maps. Not necessarily the strongest yet for FURIA, as we haven't seen that test against KRU yet, but at least for this matchup here, KRU has been looking amazing on Lotus.
Is that a mirror up there? Are we seeing each other back and forth?
Actually, it's a TV in front of us.
It is true.
But it is a mirror composition.
It is a mirror composition. It is. Oh, you're going to start already? It's too early.
Is it?
It's the afternoon, but it's too early. So it's the same thing here. Artisan and Silence will be on the Vice for their respective teams. But yeah, it's feeding that Neon, it's feeding Dante, feeding Alum.
Yeah, and if anything, it's Dante feeding the information for the rest of the team too. I think that's the biggest advantage that you have right now is Dante as your star duelist for the team. He's not necessarily going to be the one that's going to be looking to activate every single time and drop 30, but man, is he good at finding space and information so that somebody like Les can follow up on these attacks.
All right, we are about to get on to Lotus here for KRU versus FURIA. It is time for your match start, brought to you by Samsung OLED, as we head on to the map to see who's going to start it. Is FURIA going to receive first? Are they going to let KRU make the move? Or are they going to be moving as much as they can? We heard FURIA previously kind of saying, we don't like to stand still. This is not something we do.
And KRU's the same way, especially on defense.
Yeah.
If I've been looking at the past games on Lotus as well, it's very rare that they're looking for like their early style of fighting for rubble control. They want to react on what's happening, and already it's there. They have the fast rotate they can have towards that door, but Elim is already moving to try to close that gap on the rotate, but he's going to be met up by 4 players.
Call this strat only W keys, and it's going to have to be the same from KRU. Dante trades immediately. I would say just gets the kill, no trade needing to come through as FURIA try to set up this defense.
Paranoid's not going to hit anybody either, too, so this is great positioning for FURIA on the top.
They're trying to get into a lot of different positions, but it's creating one-on-ones. Les gets the advantage of that before Koala Noob fights back, gets a little retribution for the teammate, and here come the trades. Here come the encroachment into the site from KRU. And EU only more aware now that he is about to be flanked by one.
Last player standing.
Are they looking in the right spot? No, they're not. KRU systematically dropping the members of FURIA to take back B and take that pistol round.
I think that's the key word here, Riv. You talk about systematic, and I think that's really the way that KRU was really able to activate on their defensive side. Get that chi flowing. Get that chi flowing. But again, as I tried to mention before here, KRU doesn't really like to play and activate every single round on defense because you have a neon that you're forced to take some very forward spacing. They like to set up these line of scrimmages mainly around where you see that Viper wall is at, right? Towards the blue door, towards the opening door on that A side, so that the Omen playing mostly on the mid side can help with these paranoias, with these flashes, and they can crunch upon that. So you have to base it off sound cues, orb taps, doors being tapped up as well, and that's usually how KRU reacts. But if you give up here on the A side, they're very quick to gain that space on the other end that hasn't been contested in the first place. Looking here, I wouldn't be surprised if Silence is going to start moving out quite early to rotate. Yeah, just an eco flood here from FURIA. Sadak more than ready, as they still have more protection here in Tree to clean this one up. Oh, just a little high and wide there. Sun was in his eyes. And there's the last one from MW Zera. 3K there. Get that Nightfall in line, retake possibility, and just clean up the second round. Yeah, and you saw it already. Red Silence moved down. They dropped the spike over on the A side, so you know there's a head lean there. He moves up, picks up the orb on C2, so doing his job on his lonely side of the map on C Lotus, but also closing that gap. And I think if you're looking at a lot of these playstyles or trying to study a lot of tape around KRU, you can start identifying how maybe sometimes there's not too many players that are covering all the lanes here on the defensive side. Of course, the Vice Wall is going to help here for Artazine when he's going to be the one having to play a little bit further back. But overall, something here that KRU could start exploiting, and starts off well for Dante. A little bit of a spray through 2 smokes here in the first one to fall, and that's not the player you want to drop early for FURIA, so that's mainly at space and wall gone. One of the things FURIA has is everyone can make an impact. I mean, not if they get sat down like that. Just fold it up and put away at rubble. And now KRU pushes forward a bit more just to find the last player in Artisan. So this buy round probably didn't feel very much like a buy round. They didn't even get to execute anything they wanted. And already making Artisan sweat, knowing there's going to be people just around the corner and behind. Nice shot, though. Good for 1. 10 HP, 5 bullets left. Bleeding red on both stat lines there. He tries to buy a little bit more time here. So has a flash to work with, too. To isolate this fight, though, MW0 is kind of low, but at the end of the day, he does use a little bit of the obstacle as a little bit of a one-way that allows him to stay alive in this one and not fight. So very nicely done for KRU to convert even into their bonus round. And it's a little bit too early on that slide, too, and you just followed through with the tracing, so that was quite nice by Dante to get that pick. But at the end of the day, we talk about the reaction from KRU. As soon as they get the first blood in the pick, they're assuming here that people are going to be falling behind a limb on the space that he's trying to get because he's sliding so early. So they go for their own trap play. Open the door, concuss, flash, have Dante slide in, and they suffocate FURIA there. And you see Sadak there just continuously wide-eyed looking at Dante like, what? How every time? And he's going to get out of here while grabbing a good bit of info to start, too. There. Yeah, one was juggling here with the sleeve, but thankfully the other ones were able to slip behind. He's drawing the eyes. Oh, wait. He can't draw the kills, though. FURIA snap back with this lower buy and try to just squash the forces of KRU as they keep appearing over towards this A side. This should be done and dusted for a quick FURIA round back in their favor. Yeah, especially with Silence solo here, even taken down, and that was actually quite surprising. Because you could see it from the point of view of Sadak. Everybody's walking forward, the wall's about to drop, and they have a 3-man crossfire setup. That's perfect to take everybody down. But like how instantly they get all these picks. Okay, the first one, not Dante's fault, but then for the other team, look at that, how clean those shots were in the end for FURIA. That actually stops that bleeding quite well, because if you're looking at the state of the game, losing a bonus round, this should have been a 5-0, maybe going into a 6-1 scoreline for the rest. But now you're able to build that economy back up on your side. You're forced to Sadak to play into a Bucky, even though he should have enough money to buy a rifle, but he really wants to hold on to that tree. Yeah. Trying to condition that pinch. A lot of ultimates to come back online here. See if FURIA can lock those in this round. Get themselves a few more rounds. Alum down to 34. They're going to have to play it slow. Yeah, just trying to bait the wall in the first place, so the check mark is done, but to the cost of 66 HP down for the side of a limb. So that's not going to help when they're going to try to go for the execution. It seems to be leaning towards the C site, at least for now. The spike's still down. They're trying to bait out the next wave of utilities. So let's see how they're going to operate now for the rest of the round.
It's fine. Let's walk back there now.
Okay.
I'm
out of here.
Waiting for you guys. This guy should be rubble.
One's B right now. Reprowling B.
Guys, we're NDA, okay?
Yeah. I hit Prowler B. It's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Good, walk in.
Guys, I have a smoke, or I have an outlaw.
They resmoked B. They resmoked B. They're worried, guys.
This guy's up A, okay, guys? I'm gonna pop my shit. We face.
Yeah, I can Prowler. Wait. Yeah, wait for us.
I'll target blind.
Okay, ready?
Wait.
Jump something, fade. Wall down. I get tethered solo, it's fine. Ready? Oh, we might be rubble, guys. Care.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, wall up, we walk. I'm gonna eye rebel.
Yeah,
Just walk there.
Wall down.
Let's go. I'm flashing.
Let's try it.
Close.
Take.
Breakable. Fade left.
I stunned him.
Go door.
Yeah. Let's do.
I'm spam.
Wide.
Down
Face.
A.
Face one.
Nice.
Fade. Might be inside.
Only one side.
Might be inside.
I'm blinding side.
Do. Blind. That's like
Spike down
Fine safe.
One backside.
Protect me. I got plant.
We gotta fight him.
Go!
Come
Let's
on.
fucking go, boys!
Fuck, I shouldn't have smoked there, sorry.
Nice fucking round.
Incredible. At the moment they identify something, one more in sight, there's multiple people activating on it. And it's with everything just about, oh, we need to plant. We can't. We have to kill. Everybody goes for the kill. And that can in the situation. Just, it's not snap judgment. Everybody's on board.
They had to be quick because it was so good by, I think it was Silence, right? He got that pick with 5 seconds left in the round.
Yeah.
You can't even plant that spike anymore. So you know it's at least a 2 versus 1. You have to adapt. You have to push right away. And then at least they called the perfect 3-2-1 to swing in different angles to salvage that round for FURIA. So it works that well. Especially able to negate the position from Sadak with the Bucky and also absorbing all of the Nightfall that was thrown also on the side of NW0. So at the end of the day, that was a great way for FURIA to stop that round, to take 2 in a row and force the hand here of KRU, who are actually able to open up the first couple of kills.
Just right into spawn. Say, I know where you buy. I'm going to come in and fight you right now. Spike's still down. They're going to have to go back and just make sure it's protected. But they have this A main control re-cleared. The EU is trying to get a little bit of a hold on again. There's the Prowler. And they know they have some space to work with now.
I got Spike.
At least MWZR heard the cancel of the From the Shadows of Koala Noob. So he's actually saying, look, it's a fake. They're keeping all the players on that KRU side, but FURIA is actually doing a nice little pivot at the end. They want to commit into the fake info that was given by Koala onto MWZR. The position's actually very good on that drop on the defense, though. That could actually slow things down and allow for the rest of KRU to rotate in this post plant.
Quick clear. Fake plant.
30 seconds left.
Getting a little, oh, the save. They bought a little bit of time here for the rotation from KRU. Alum now by himself, 9 bullets left and 3 members to go through. Remember that site was made a little bit smaller, so he's got to get back in before he can even plant. And it's not going to be enough. Les finds a third one, a Thrifty coming through for KRU.
Yeah, an answer back on their own Thrifty. Toward the side of KRU. That said, it seems as though we overcomplicated things, though, on that 3 versus 4. They really wanted to try to clear towards that pit. Koala Noob thought that the one way that he threw was going to be good enough for him to actually peek into the area and try to go for a pick. But that was so patient by MWZ to stay tucked in at the bottom of the slant. That overexposed Koala Noob got shot in the leg, picked off, and then KRU was able to flood back in.
Right towards C, a little on both sides here. Gonna get extremity play coming in from Nerve. He gives up that space, hearing the door open. So they try to taunt that there's a big pressure play coming into Rubble. There's a little bit of a line of scrimmage here for FURIA to check things out.
And it's an annoying line of scrimmage, because if you look at how that wall's being placed, it's actually more tucked in than the regular one. So you're actually exposing yourself to swing out. So they're trying to go for the protocol in a 3-2-1.
Oh, they got baited into it. They walk right up Death Alley and get taken down by KRU. What a sneaky little play of utility to get that C on lockdown. And now, again, they're still across the map here, seeing what they can work. And Dante plays his life.
Those razor vines on the side of Silence is going to be super important right now for the defense to hold, because if you're looking at the comp for this side of FURIA, you have really nothing to break that utility. So it really comes down to not only having to bait the wall, but making sure that the spacing you take, you don't get fully affected here by the razor vines. That slide through probably takes like 30% of HP on that slide, and then you had the perfect crossfire setup from Waterfall as well. But it's good here that FURIA is doing this early, because it gives them an opportunity to learn a little bit more these setups on this C side. I think this is, what, the second time that they're attempting it here?
Yeah. Sadak already
10
in the
seconds
mind
left.
of his opponent and just behind with the flank. They're looking,
Last
is it gonna be
player
enough though? He clears one, and Artson needs to clear a few more in this round, but it's not gonna be enough. Walks back into a one-way situation, and Sadak will clear 4-2, but KRU will take another one.
Yeah, KRU continuing looking pretty good on this map on defense. Even if you're trying to get that space for a limb, the relay bolt doesn't really give him any favor.
Yeah.
As if he actually was able to cross over, he would have stunned himself. So missing the angle on that a bit. Shaw feels that he might have to call a timeout right away.
A reset needed for FURIA here, a position they really haven't been in all too much. They did feel like they started a bit slow on the EG matchup, were able to find themselves coming back. I think Shaw had kind of mentioned there in a situation that everyone is playing their own game, so they aren't paying attention to the game, which is kind of a clever way of saying, like, let's lock in, you know. There is still a chance that they forget what that win condition is.
Yeah, especially for win cons overall for both of these teams, you're definitely seeing that, again, we're just going to talk about it one more time. It's not always about Dante, but I think for me, the person that's been quite impressive on the side of KRU is Les. Les, pretty much back to his form of like Loud back in 2022, pretty much, when he won champs here with Sadak. He gets to reunite with him after playing 3 years together with Loud. He even mentioned he had a hard time just getting acquainted to EMEA in Berlin. He prefers to be back in LA. There's a lot more stuff to do here to manage a better work-life balance. And I think that level of comfort to be mentally strong outside of the game allows for him to be quite stoic within the server as well, and seeing how much he can bring to the table. Doing an excellent job on the defense so far and anchoring. And there's a lot of combination plays and crossfire setups on the setups for KRU between Les and Dante, or Les and Silence, depending on the map. And he's actually playing his role very well.
FURIA go back to a little bit of speed here, taking that space early. And KRU actually already had movement across the left side of the map. They're gonna meet here. Baby door, relay bolts on either side. And the judge to lay down the verdict first. Oh, a limb gets clotheslined on the way in. Sadak is able to trade there, and they're just framing every member of FURIA through the doorway and shredding it with bullets. Here's Artsy one more time. It looks like they already even have a lock on the positioning. Silence, thinking the timing was a little bit different. And Artsy again goes into a 1v3.
Yeah, KRU seems to always be a step ahead of feeling where a limb's going to be going. Right now, in any type of setup that they're trying to do as an opener for FURIA, to have a limb slide and try to go for an opener, he's instantly denied. I feel like maybe there's a lack of utility to support. Maybe you need a little bit more of not just the flash to allow for him to get the space, but also maybe a haunt or a prowler to allow for him to be a little bit more confident within these slides, so he could actually pre-aim his crosshair a little bit better. But you're guessing there, sliding into 3 guys.
Yeah.
That's also the lack of getting information. Being deprived of that info on the side of FURIA that KRU's doing so well so far.
It looks like they're ready to do a C-pop again from KRU's side. Seeing if they can catch FURIA off guard. Opposite ends of the map, though.
Toxins going up.
This is what I'm talking about, right? When you're active on a certain part, they prowler, there's no information there, you're just going to keep taking that space. So now that they have a triple push to prowler towards the front B side, they're like, yo, this has to be a push towards the A side. So what you have to do on A now for Silence is just deny as much as you can. Delay.
Play his life, delay, already gets the vines out, and the limb goes down. He talked about trying to slide across that. Steals the arsenal away. And they get it back, too. Just back and forth, the trade of util to gain this space right now. Only one member down on each side as the plant will fall. And this is going to be actually FURIA having a great job. All this entry space needs to be walked through if they don't come through Tree, taking damage from the pit. So it's up to Tree to make the move. It's up for Dante and the team to break this site open. And he's gonna try right now. Goes through, finds Artson right away, and now he's got them sweating inside the pit. Last finds another one, and he's gonna walk right in. They shake hands, and Nerve goes down. He used force to backpedal out of there, and would you believe it? KRU just take FURIA right out of A.
It's nice that they were able to execute and move in the way that they did here with FURIA, from the Steel Garden to getting that pit down. It looked like it was going to be pretty good, right? Because it's covering towards the main entrance and on the staircase. But what's missing? How many more gaps are there? Heaven, drop, tree. The door gets open. You have to watch 3 different angles. There's only one guy that's outside of the pit that's trying to watch that flank. And I think that was Artazine at the top right over here as he gets picked up.
Yeah.
The rest of them are stuck inside the pit. There's no crossfire stuff. There's no info they're able to gain right now to set up for that flood retake for KRU. And that just shows how KRU could be very explosive when it's needed. And you just talked about the protocols that are just very, very systematic. That works very well for KRU for these retakes.
All right. The same run. Top C, open door, pressure with Prowler. Hit it until it works. They haven't seen it. Why not show it again? And it's actually something that KRU benefit off of. Losing Sadak, they still take out EU, bit of that initiator utility to get into the site. In and out. They don't feel comfortable trying to play the pump fake here towards B.
And it's nice that they're fully pivoting like this to move towards this B site. Because again, we talked about the early flanks that could really happen. Less already push all the way down to move back towards A.
Yeah.
And now Lim's just trying to gain space on Waterfall. So they know the retake should be coming down towards Blue, Heaven, and also B main. All of those angles being watched, but they're all just watching it as solo angles. So this is difficult.
Yeah, no Prowler here. That's KRU still gets 2 instantly jumping in, and everybody just figure eights back and forth, acting like neons, even if they aren't Dante.
And that's the difference, right? You have 1 watching Waterfall, 1 spawn, 1 blue door, 1 back B site for FURIA. Okay, it almost looks like you have every angle taken care of. But then you have Dante just buddy hopping in the site, getting all the information, and okay, there's 1 here. And then he has 2 players following behind him. So in individual locations, there's 3 versus 1s every single time on the retake rather, for KRU. There's not enough of a buddy system right now for FURIA in these post-plant scenarios. They can't trade off each other instantly, and they're not in position to be able to do so, which is very one-sided on a defense for KRU so far.
They've been able to really shut down what FURIA, they want to do the same thing. It's a mirror comp, but they're not letting Lim in on that distance. Whenever he comes in, there's 3 or 4 people ready to shut him down this time, but he gets seized up. Still in the situation, they can't get by the wall either. They're delayed out. KRU has another answer for this purchase coming in from FURIA, and Dante's just taking a minute to say, yep, okay, you're done, and we move on to the next.
Lim just looked like the marionette just dangling on the string.
Yeah.
And you see the utility that allows for, again, KRU to just stall every single opening. It's a broken record, but I love that it's different showings that we see from KRU every single time. It's activated by a wall, and then you have also the C's being thrown onto defense from MW0.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you've isolated everything for KRU. What's always been good for KRU so far is stalling the first wave of aggression for FURIA. Despite FURIA thinking that, okay, we could bait walls, we could bait util here and there, when they're actually going for a hit, there's still too much util for KRU when they're actually turtled inside the sites to stop here the initial push. And Alim, unfortunately, is getting absolutely no value on the attack.
So we have to consider, though, FURIA being FURIA, having answers. They'll have a talk at halftime, and they, again, have the mirror comp to then be on defense. But it is going to take having the vines in the same spot that you see Dante going to, and everything that's happening from the defensive side and the info they have. But
10 seconds
still
left.
a possibility, question mark? It just seems almost impossible with the way the KRU is holding it down right now.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to pay attention once we get to the second half. I think even if it's a mirror comp, the approach for KRU sometimes can be quite different. They have a lot of these inserts and slow walk-ups from less, especially with the up and down wall when they're getting no pressure on the A side, which I think maybe FURIA could maybe do the same thing, but so far, again, look at that. There's 3 players getting ready to greet him.
Every time. Every time. That man right there, calling those shots and doing what he can.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was wondering if this would come in.
Yeah, because you were mentioning it. What is it going to look like on the second half here? And I think it's still a good call, even though it's the last round of the half here. You might want to use this timeout now and the extra time you have during the halftime to talk. Because at this point, if you don't use your timeout and you lose pistol round in the next half, you're pretty much going to be 11-2 down, right? If you lose this round here, it might be 11 down, might be 12-2 down. So might as well try to salvage this round here and then have that 2 minutes to talk about a better plan to play your defense here against KRU.
And 2 timeouts from FURIA here, giving KRU time to talk as well and just solidify what they've been doing. Sonic feeling very comfortable with the team, hasn't had to stop them one bit. And they've had a variety of rounds, finding post-plant success, just clobbering FURIA in rounds and timing out that last one. And here for our last round of the first half, 4 ultimates that FURIA is going to have to crack.
Seems like we're going to have a Hail Mary to try to move towards the C site. The tough part is that they don't really know what the setup is going to be for KRU, where the Vice is going to set up. And as you're looking at it, there's a fortress on both sides. As the pit goes down for less, and there's a wall to even support him to not really allow for FURIA to move into this pit.
Seeing if they can get anybody to step out. You see that Bucky playing close. Or say a limb judge, rather.
Is ready.
Okay, this could be quite important here, this orb being picked up by KRU. Because right now you're sort of defaulting across the map. I'm wondering when Alim walked up here and said that pit if you heard that wall. Because if you could bait that out, it allows for you to go for the TP maybe in the back of the C site and just really finish on C. But as they haven't baited that wall yet, you can't really go into like that full pop exec. They're still trying to figure out where they could bait this util.
Shot out, so they know someone's in sight, and they would have heard Sadak's shot from the small door. 40 seconds, time's ticking down. B hit is the play with A maybe going through door, but they're getting pushed back as well. They will have a full site, but this is going to be a 5v5 retake on the tiniest site. Things start to activate as Sadak gets 1 kill, and Dante is already on their heels before they've even gotten fully into the site. Now lost, scrambling is Waterfall the play. They're still trying to get back in, but both players are separated across the map, Vance.
That's crazy. I feel like the Nightfall maybe tagged them towards the end, so they never heard the Neon beating the wall and going behind because you saw the tether that he was following. That's just unfortunate for those 2 players for FURIA. But KRU believes is finally able to use his TP for a plant, but they got to play a 2 versus 5.
All right. Another TP. TP tree is free, so they're going to open door and have that Prowler information. Actually, a Seize that they can throw partially into sight. Oh, everybody's going to just crash out of there. It's all about EU, though. What can he find? Oh, my God. Silence turns and looks at the door before they hit sight. The timing is impeccable, and he's following up with a second one as they all run around for the defuse. A 10th round for KRU from the defensive side to start Lotus.
So fun, too. Usually you don't see an op coming out on this map for KRU, nor for FURIA. And the moment he tries to bring it out, drops 2.
A mirror comp. I wonder if we can get mirror halves out of these teams. It's going to take a lot from FURIA to come back in the second half, but we've seen him do crazier things. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, we got this old mattress.
Waterbed.
And the receipt.
How about you beat it with a better deal on one of these fresh setups?
We can't do that.
Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Not much longer now, and I will also take to the skies.
Me too.
You? No, you will always be a worm.
Just wait and see.
Red Bull gives you wings.
No stop, move fast, gotta walk, follow me. No stop, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right
Welcome back to VCT Americas. Let's get that second half underway. It is time for FURIA to wake up, bare those teeth, and sink back into this match because KRU had full control of that first half.
Yeah. And we knew this was going to be a hard game already going to the first map of the series. They look untouchable through in the first 2 weeks when they always pick Lotus against our opponents here. So
yeah,
FURIA knew what they were up against. They thought that they had a good game plan on their attack, but unfortunately it falters. We'll have to see if they could do the same thing now on the defense, where you can see the setup's fairly similar. Still trying to be more passive and reactive on what's happening around the map as they hear Dante just making so much noise and hearing the orb getting picked up. Already high-low setup over on that C site.
Trying to get that wall broken. Doing the same play. Let's see what they're talking about as they hit C.
Você, moleque.
Morreu, costas.
51 na frente.
Mais um costas.
Vem comigo, Léo. Vem comigo. Calma, acabou o bagulho, abre. Tô com de vida. 51 na frente. Eu preciso trocar HS, tá? Ele vai subir a bola, tá fudido, você, eu tenho flash pra você, me pede, atrás de você.
Tá clinando aí, bom.
50 agora, vanga agora. Banguei. 50! Tá bom. Eu jogo pra
Guys, plante pra você, viu?
Beleza.
Tem que pular, Léo, pra ele.
Não tá. Beleza.
Não pegou nem metade, acho.
Eu não vou abrir de jeito nenhum, tá? Não tá.
Come on, please.
É, pistol! Ei, vai tomar no... Les, você é um filho de uma... Mano, olha onde você pendura a tua smoke, mano!
And you saw what the win con was there for KRU, as they're still having fun going into this first map, right?
Crazy.
So just chuckling, and even Sadak having a Leebird last battle before he falls. They all chuckle to that at the same time, but noticing that the plant was actually for that C mountain, and they overextended for spawn to try to go for a hero play. As soon as they lose that space, they knew they had to attack that double flank on that side of FURIA. They had the numbers, they take it down, and then they just play the mound and the information they get for that plant. So very nicely done for KRU to stop this aggression from FURIA that had a good start on that double flank.
And you got to see this buy from FURIA now. They're trying to keep it off of game point.
No choice.
Keep their backs away from the ropes, off the wall, and LM says yes. One down. I don't think there's a weapon to pick up. He did ping it, but I don't think there's anything really to grab. Help from EU is just behind, and everybody's staying in sight. Allen is just taking the fight to KRU right now. 3 to his name, has good damage on another one too. Sadak forced to back, oh my God. He's gonna ace them all, their spawn, it's Gladiator Alamo. He goes down, but yes, EU still there to secure the round. Rack him up.
And that's gonna allow for you to get a little bit of confidence back in this game. A nice little tackle slide for the first kill onto Les, but everything else is quite simple. A nice bait from his teammate at the entrance of the A main, because everybody was so focused on KRU side from this Prowler coming out. Look at that, just focusing on the first guy. Dante wasn't even looking to the smoke. And then Alim just gets a nice little highlight reel towards the end. Couldn't get the ace, but is vibing.
What is even understanding that angle with the smoke there? Like, usually you can see the edges because it's a tall map. You can draw the line down, but he just had the angle that far away through smoke. Crazy, Vans. And they're going to push it again. Ooh, Dante. Because I got that too. And they're going to push right in. Artson trades back as both teams light up the kill feed, and he does a little bit more. Nice. The Stingers are putting in work for this one. Silence and Les kind of just limping around the map, trying to protect each other now. And how can they get back to each other safely?
And you see what Les was doing, right? Pulling the wall up and down, trying to find a space on the A side where there's pressure over on B. But unfortunately, as the rest of his teammates fall, felt like he didn't really go for a true play. So they're just going to try to group up. Maybe try to get a plant together, even go for a little bit of a mini Bogdan's Law.
Yeah.
Silent's going to be the one picking up the Bulldog in the spike. So Les, I mean, at this point, you could give it in the hands of Silent. He definitely has the firepower to go for a little bit of a stroll, go for a hero play, and then Les catches to rotates.
Last player standing.
Rotate, catches him.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You'd think, okay, they're out definitely playing defense. 30 seconds. No one's going around looking, right? No, they are. They feel comfortable enough.
30 seconds left.
Here's the plant, though. Stingers, Phantom. This is going to be quite tough.
Still has good util.
One burst. Oh, just at the end of the mag. Forced to reload. Nerve will pick that up. Another defuse coming in here. Much needed rounds for FURIA. They keep it off game point.
Yeah. And that was only a small buy that we had. I think it was a shorty for Dante to slide through to get that first pick. but great anchoring by Artazine. So you're just talking about the setups, right? You saw it was slightly different. They put a Razor Vines into the B site, anticipating a lower buy push to try to go for a simple plant on that B site. I don't know why it is that teams like to default into a B site plant when they're on the lower buy, but that's how it's getting read so far.
You get your
here.
shotguns close.
Yeah, I guess.
You're guaranteeing that close combat.
Yeah. A little bit of a smoke in the beginning here to try to TP and avoid any type of scan utility on the side of the defense. So this is KRU smoke to try to go outside. TP comes in from Sadak, and I don't really see an eye or anything being utilized by FURIA so far. They're just trying to listen for the information to see what's happening over at Rubble.
Very fluid-like defense. They can flow through door, flow back through door. If they need to have 3 here at A, and they can right away. As the swivel door is hit for a tree, it looks like KRU still wants to attempt to fight in this, and Les is going to take that into his own hands as he starts breaking these smoke walls apart.
The difference right now is that for FURIA, they're not pushing Nerve outside of the C mound. He's still staying on that C side and is forcing to rotate all the way back. That gives a lot of room here for KRU to pivot and cancel and go wherever they want in the mid round if they want to. Now we're breaking a door. They bait out the one swinging out, and EU falls down as they take the upper hand.
It's doing a very good job of kind of just sourcing out where FURIA is going to be based on who else is peeking, right? Oh, they got to have one covering this, that.
Yeah, and look at that, right? Because we haven't had that push down from Nerve to really cut the rotate from the back. Now that you cut noise for KRU, they're guessing, and they're second-guessing themselves. Double rotate back towards that C site. They smoke in front of the C site as well, and it's like, oh, wait. We screwed up. KRU's actually going A for a plant.
And Sadak he just does a step shadow there, more so than a from the shadows, as he goes into tree to clear. Playing it safe, 15 seconds, and yeah, everything is forced from FURIA now as they're forced to run back over, set up, save these guns, but maybe do a little defense or damage.
Yeah.
I mean, they could try to keep it off game point. Oh, Artson, before the team gets there, tries to go for that first kill. Oh my God, again! Again! That's the same spot!
They got to crouch under the smoke to try to find something, right? So Sadak is just, all right, well, I'm just going to put my crosshair there, tap, tap, get them all one by one. And that little ult that you're talking about, too, it's just to try to sell a fake thinking that they're going to pivot onto a C-side hit. And again, that's what FURIA was reading, so they thought they had it when they had the 2 players rotate over on that side. In the end, the IGL becoming the fragging IGL of this stage, continuing his numbers as this Omen. 16, 9, and 10 map point for KRU.
Jeez.
Yeah, and you're digging deep here to try to get something going. Thankfully, you have at least the overdrive to try to go for the face-to-face battle over here on Rubble.
They push again, either side of the wall. This, again, it's going to be a battle, and they're leaving up to the wall dropping out in the open. Okay, they get the safety. They're playing the time. They know what they're doing. It's all under the control of Nerve's gas anyways at that point. And now they back up. Very much better position to cover the crossfire. The X-Fire, if you even want to.
Big battle. Sadak trying to stay alive and does so.
They TP out. So again, just an information grab, but KRU, all members alive, still haven't made a decision yet. And they're just kind of figuring out who is playing where to start on the side of FURIA.
Yeah, and sorry, it was cool on TPing back to the A side to meet up with the limb. But that still stops the call here in the mid-round pivot. Actually, Les staying there and getting spotted by the Prowler kind of just keeps FURIA anchored again. So once again, false information given. They're able to now go on a 4-1 setup on C and take the advantage over Nerve.
That was a nasty figure 8 from Dante, and he still slides out to make his own play. Holy moly.
A little bit of a quad axle loop on that one as well. Got 10-10 on my vote.
Really crazy stuff that they're able to do to break the crosshairs here and still get back into the situation themselves. And now it is a push in from spawn here for FURIA. A little bit of a lower buy, but they can still make it work versus these Phantoms.
No overdrives in.
Smokes are good. Having Qualanoob here is great to get the smoke, but that's a closer plant. It's not the Heretics one back on the steps. So it's much easier to take the spray.
How come nobody's tapping it, though?
They are trying to, but EU keeps getting shredded. Sadak gets another 3K to end the round. Welcome back to VCT Americas. As you see on the screen, we are about to dive into Haven as the players are as well. We'll see what they have for you in Agent Select, but this is wake up and shake off game 1 for FURIA, because KRU is ready to go for game 2, I'm guessing already.
I agree. They had such a good start, and let's talk about Haven for a second, though, before we get the agents, though. Haven hasn't always been, as an organization for KRU, like their best map. They're kind of like up and down, trying to figure out like different compositions and ways that they can work. Remember, they were still playing a lot of like Breach Jet when there was a big Tail meta, and or a double controller even then. They even tried to bring out a Tail in the past, still didn't work. But this time around, I'm actually liking this composition. It's a big test too. Silence, when you're looking at the way that he was playing in G2 and Ascension, there was roles where he was mixing from time to time with him and when they were playing double duelist too, where sometimes he would play ISO or he would play Yoros, or play that too. So to see him on a Phoenix, it actually works out quite well, at least on paper, as they're still leveraging Dante to be the tip of the spear for this. So pretty much a mirror match at the end of the day, with the exception of the initiators between MW0 and EU.
Yeah, EU. Kind of feel like he's just comfortable on that Sova. You know EU for Sova as well. But that Fade feeling comfortable for MW0. We'll see if it makes too big of a difference coming through. Like you said, a mirror match pretty much otherwise on that. I'm excited to see the Phoenix as well for Koala Noob. You mentioned that in game 1 to see kind of what would be the ceiling we could get out of that here for FURIA's Haven. So it might be something we look at, how they break open these sites to get back in on the retakes this time.
And I think outside of the question mark of Silence playing as his Phoenix when he was playing with Spike double duelists on Haven before, everybody else across the board are playing pretty much to a comfort role. Less going back to the Sentry role as a Cypher as well has always been quite strong on this map too. But let's focus now on the action as KRU already opening up here on the C site, and it's fully open.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop. They go right in. Less able to watch behind. Lim thought he had a little bit more movement. Almost clears Koala Noob too, but they're able to save that one. And backing up for safety instead of taking the fight, MW0 plays with the team. And they split into what looks like a 2-2 or even a 3-1 towards site. But this is big here if Artson can make the right move as the team distracts Long C. Ooh, MW0 down on 1. They saw only a few, so that alerts them immediately of spawn. They're thinking so many steps ahead right now on the side of KRU. It looks so smooth.
Man, even seeing the aggression back from that spawn, Dante pushing in, or at least from attacker spawn, Dante decided to push towards CT spawn and saw that nobody was there. So yes, you're right, they're always one step ahead. To just stop here, the rotate from the side of FURIA. Another big pistol round coming on their side, and just continuing their roll.
Dang, another round where Dante gets started off too, and just feeling good about the moves he's making. The Neon's ready with the Outlaw.
Which is interesting too. As we talk about Dante, he's always the one jumping around, maybe judging Phantoming, but never really the one with the scope. So seeing Haven as a new map here for this team, oh my god, he doesn't need the Outlaw.
Oh my god.
Just drop that, keep a Judge, keep a Ghost, and just own everybody. And that's just, once again, being one step ahead, right? This is an eco run for FURIA. The win con as well for our Phoenix is to grab the orbs. So he even placed his crosshair, I think, before the smoke came down. Here's a tap, gets the kill.
One enemy remaining.
Just walking the shots up and delivering them. I was gonna say sometimes it's the Sova either as well getting it long A, but it's gonna be C this time. So it just goes down trying to get the orb anyways. FURIA's like, okay, we could source something out of this round because they're already starting off hot again, and it's not even the orbs.
Yeah, silver lining, they still get a pip, all from dying.
Yeah, they did.
What works out though, at least for KRU, is with this composition, is the Cyphers, I think for me, probably much stronger in terms of trying to get early information versus like a chamber or a vice usually that you see on this map. I think KJ is still quite viable on this map as well. So adding that extra camera onto less allows for you to see if there's going to be any early pressure coming out on that defense.
Koala Noob plays a quick sewer. Oh, Dante gets out of that one alive. Silence is the one to go down, actually. There's a little cross-mat fighting going on as they're still pushing through so many fronts that they're bringing the fight to FURIA on. Oh, that's ridiculous. Lim, what he can. Everything's close here. Almost dashes himself into another shot, but he chipped away. Down to 30 now, and they line that one up. So less, even if he does go down, there's another kill to happen. And KRU, They're finding the solution here for the first 3.
Did he get that kill blinded? Got fully flashed, no?
Was the short flash, the sewer flash?
Right over here from the face if we have it. KRU came back from an A-side link. Again, to kick things off, they did such a great job pushing forward to get the sewers killed in the first place. They just wanted to fight aggression on extremities when the pressure came out from KRU at middle in the first place, and you think you could flood retake. And then as you flash to just repeat from KRU from the A-link rotating back, I'm pretty sure the Allah got him while he was blind. That was just unfortunate there, but very, very lucky for KRU that they're going to take it any day, right? They want to close this out on a 2-0, showing that they want to be the best team that we currently have in the Americas. Oh.
Which one heals and which one deals? You don't want to step too close.
Thankfully, you can just step on it and step out, and you could heal today with the buffs here for the Phoenix. If not, yes, definitely would have been a little bit of a gamble, playing with your own life, literally. An eco round for FURIA. They were trying to go for that early pressure from KRU to try to deny any type of early peaks on that C line. But as that gets denied and he gets no value out of it, they have to gamble stack here and hoping that the finish is going to be on the A side for KRU.
Enemy down.
Oh,
Cage triggered.
I was going to say 4-1 last, doing what he can to start the round, make it 5-1, and it's a spam through the wall, just reading the position that the defenders want to play. And FURIA really hasn't even seen anybody.
Yeah.
They're dying already.
And it's just great practice, right? It's looking at you're playing an anti-eco, or when you're figuring out that your opponents might be playing a lower buy.
Yeah.
Just spam through the wall. Somebody could play a judge or a shorty in that corner, so
Spike planted.
he didn't know what was there. He didn't know what weapon Nerf had. He just wanted to make sure that nobody's playing close quarters, and he reads it correctly for less.
And that's the thing, is they have the room to take these chances. They have the money to play a little bit in that, oh, if I did get killed, still buy next round, and I'll know they want to play it aggressive. It's just educating themselves on how much they can pick FURIA apart.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Dante has complimented Les and Sadak.
Yeah.
Because they have so much experience in this game. They've won champs together with Sadak and Les back in 2022. They're actually showing somebody like Dante, who's new to the game, how to play at an advanced level just because of all that experience that Sadak and Les brings. So again, to have that experience, to know that these are the scenarios you could face up against in these moments, at a 3-0 on a mixed buy, on a thrifty for FURIA. Go for that spam, get that kill. And FURIA also doesn't allow KRU to build more ult points because it's starting to cycle up on that side on the attack.
What is the answer? Let's see where KRU goes. It's not for an orb right away. They may try to get that off a fight and then ult out of garage. But it's got to be something, right? This is the gun round. And this, you said the ults are coming up here. This might be around the go for the throat to shut those down.
They want to fight mid.
Yeah.
They want to try to deny a slide from the attack side for FURIA onto KRU, and they also want to try to flash out and try to crunch in.
Flash for Neon. I should say for Dante. Oh, a limb comes through.
Down, mid.
Beautiful. Takes Dante, MWZero, and Sadak out. Just needed a bit of get up and go here for FURIA. They should be able to take this out. Silence
No way.
spam through. He falls though. There's just too much firepower coming through the wall, and the rest of FURIA set up to take this round, and it's at their own pace. They started first. They didn't have to react that round.
Yeah, nicely done by FURIA. All that was just on contact play on what Elim was able to see, right? He's looking down towards grass. He still has his two teammates watching into the window. Whatever they see first will activate that flash from KRU, and then they fled out for that kill. And that's an important kill to get because that's now run it back available for the defensive side.
Yeah.
So now you're evening the amount of ults on both sides while you have a lot of repressive ults with the addition of Elim's overdrive. But that said, looks like KRU, they want to try to maybe answer back into a similar way. Flash, peek, find the info. Don't allow here FURIA to really push out towards that B line, but FURIA are actually pushing down the A line.
Yeah, it's already aggression. That gives EU the ult orb down at long A as well. So they're making sure that they are giving themselves windows of win conditions. Dashes, relay bolts. It looks like they're trying to touch and go. The push and pull on long, and the limb starts with 2 more.
Too slow.
A third one. Just rinse and repeat on this round. Tries to get the spam on the hot lane as MWZero tries to cross, and he limps out of this one. Artson's there to take it down, a second round in a row, and a second round for FURIA.
That's sick. Coming out from FURIA with the aggression. I think not getting any information on the early rounds as soon as the barrier comes out allowed this setup to happen. Look at how you're baiting out that double swing from calling out the ultimate from the Phoenix of KRU. They try to swing around the corner to take him down so he can't get value off a flash swing, but Alim's just playing the tight corner. Swings over on that side. I mean, we were watching them when we were walking by here between maps, and they still look stoic and calm despite the one-sided results from KRU.
It's all good.
It's all good. Just another map. We still got this, and so far it's been pretty good here now that they got their economy going right for them on the defense.
Oh, they know exactly where the defense was on the last one. Looks like Silence. The rest of the team are going to back out here as they just crash towards C to make Nerve feel uncomfortable.
It's kind of tough as well for KRU with this comp to really try to clear deep lines if they're putting a lot of resources on C side first because they don't have the Eldril, and it's only the Prowler that's going to be able to help you clear close range. So leading back towards the garage setup is actually quite good in terms of the state of this round for KRU, identifying and understanding how much space they've given up on the early opening that they've had. So it's just another quick stop and go. And a split towards the C site.
Active. Catalyst being Silence all, and they're going to be in. KRU wants to kind of push the other end of the fight. That's a good choice for one. And KRU can answer here to take a breather in sight. Alim overdrives, but he really doesn't have an entry yet. He's just trying to keep Nerve and him alive. The second one from Nerve, and he has the Nerve, sets up for 4 from the backside, and nobody can even pick him out of position.
He was supposed to be pinged by our neural theft, and he's the one that gets the kill onto Les as a Cypher before he actually gets pinged out. What a huge play coming out from Nerve. Old-eyed Shell from Tier 2, moving up to Tier 1, but given that responsibility and keeping it for Artazine. Coming in from MIBR, and he stands up very, very tall against the opposition here of that hit from KRU on that C site. But all thanks as well to KRU, dropping that spike here in the first place when that double Raiden Knight box wasn't cleared. And it really allowed for Nerve to really set up for that surprise attack.
You grind long enough, you become the grinder. They just fall down as they come into C here. And one of the first timeouts for KRU, as we're mentioning, like, it's the first time Zonic feels like he needs to get in their ear. And Shaw,
he's just like, well, everything's going according to plan.
Nothing. He's like, I almost needed a brace for the left hand. But not anymore. Hold that order.
Yeah, he's smirking right now. Definitely healing from what happened on that first map.
Yeah, and that's perfect because the first map was such a stark difference from the Furia that we see. You have to expect with the changes we've seen them make in a game and adapt. They went, talked, and said, that's not us. That's pretty easy to define for them and just come back to play a different game and realize what was wrong, because I don't think we've seen that Furia very much at all since this team has been built.
Yeah.
Really, maybe twice with the EG game, and now it's just this last one.
Yep. Very similar in storyline is KRU. We haven't seen too much of them since their roster was built because we didn't get to see them at all at kickoff.
Very true.
So it's
just
a new look. Yeah, new look for KRU here on the on this map of Haven. It started off quite well, but now you're definitely seeing that they're needing a little bit of help from Zonic to try to get something going here, and another punish through the smoke. This time is Alim falling down, and that's a lot of space that allows for them to take to really pop out with these double ults, maybe triple ults that they have. But what happened here was before Alim falling, he's still done some good damage. There's 3 players that are fairly low for KRU once they set up for this post plant.
That is pretty cooked. Regarding a bit of the util they might face, I mean, hiding in that corner, you can get a hot hands to come right over the wall and sit in Dante's position. Uproot him. We'll see how they use it. A lot of util for Furia to come back in. The first one's just going to be a check. That's from Sadak on From the Shadows as the defensive stall comes through now. KRU's going to be the spearhead. They aren't able to drop. Oh, no. Okay, Nerve comes in with 3. That position was totally covered by Silence coming through, but they're able to drop KRU.
Time.
And now Sadak knows all he has to do is just stay quiet. Oh my gosh. Les is going to be the one to give himself up to as Sadak peeks off of that one. Those two know better than anyone how to play that 1v2. And it looked scary for KRU, but they had no worries.
Dude. Nerve got a 3K while he's getting hit by a Nightfall too. It doesn't really matter what ults you're throwing at him, and you might know where he's at. He's dropping numbers right now on defense. I like the idea, though. We tried to drone from the top of heaven to get the information for the team. Trying to move forward. Looks like we saw a little bit of the top of the ponytail there.
Yeah. The side buns.
Yeah, the side buns, that's it. I don't know my hairstyles.
That's okay. It's a part of the complexion.
Yeah.
No, inside joke.
They don't understand this action.
Inside joke.
That said, though, we'll go back with the action. Flash over to take some early ace-based control for KRU. And it looks like here for the side of FURIA, they were potentially trying to go for a crunch. Darting down towards that line, Hunter's Fury maybe to follow up, but they could use it now to deny this A site.
Dante calls Artsy walking through the wall with a little bit of a pre-fire.
Got a ping.
Yeah, waiting off of those, but the last one does hit. Who are we going to give an orb to? Oh, it's going to be a run it back coming in from Silence here, and that might just be activated right away. Sensor Fiddle!
Oh!
He's going to get a run it back, but it's not the way he wants.
Next round.
Spike is down.
One enemy remaining.
EU gets another one. 2 in heaven, 3 in heaven. They're going to start floating down as that's a third one. And every round that FURIA picks up the pace, it seems to put KRU in a little bit of chaos, and it is working for FURIA.
Such an important shock dart as well for EU. Because even Silence went for the wall up so he could heal while he's planning. Maybe he was a couple of HP away before being able to survive here. And that would have given him a run it back and then full HP coming back from it, which would have given a good win condition for KRU.
We see reasons why EU wants that Sova.
Yeah.
Fade won't do that.
End of the day as well, though, you got to look at how FURIA has been playing the setups on the defense for the last 2 rounds. They've been fairly aggro, leading down towards that BC line and then playing retake towards A. But this time, the trips are more aggressive on this A side you can see being placed.
Just kicking it up to high gear. Okay, nice dodge actually. Overdrive's gonna be there. Koala Noob somehow gets in between the Venn diagrams of relay bolts flying through. Still alive, hearing a lot outside the site. And this, I think, can just allow FURIA to say, what, play patient. They're kind of scattering right now, looking for things.
Good on, I think that was EU, right? That stayed alive in front of that B side despite being tagged by the camera.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. The 4 lines. Sadak losing to a trip. Can't break it and almost got killed because of that. But yeah, those 4 lines allows for you to get now their early information instead of pushes back towards that spawn. So FURIA playing this a little bit more standardized, if I could put it that way, so they could set up these crossfires on the B side defense. That's up to Les. There should be in a good spot. Actually, he tucked in just in time. He's just looking for his timing. It all comes down to the last 2 players over on this A site to maybe try to brute force their way in towards A.
He saw his gun.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to try to say. You got to make some noise on that side too, force and rotate so that Les can maybe try to go for a pick here.
So you gotta make him buy into it.
Exactly. And then FURIA said no buy.
I know buy.
They said goodbye.
They don't want any of that, not even if it's on sale. Artson takes out the last one, nicely played, and while being aggressive, they're much more patient. You can see FURIA feels sure about the movements they're making now and not kind of guessing these swings. Oh, that was so much chaos.
What's good, at least right now, for FURIA is they're doing a pretty decent job as well to deny here the slides from Dante. Remember that happening to Elim a lot when they're playing on the attack side on Lotus, and
gotta shut it down.
This time FURIA on defense, they're able to answer back in similar fashion. Kill distribution is quite even across the board as well. This is turning out to be quite an exciting game between these 2 teams for the second map. You talked about it, FURIA needed some time to wake up, and looks like that pep talk from Shaw between the 2 maps is at least helping them out on the defense.
Does seem like it. They're going faster too. KRU wants to see if they can put pressure back onto FURIA to make them crack, and they know who's going to be in the back of the site. Koala Noob, EU, ready to lock it down. The run it back goes down, but the worse for the wear there.
Run it back twice. But Koala Noob getting more value.
Oh, wait, okay. Wait a second. Everybody getting their bearings here out on grass, and it's going to be Artisan that finally finishes off what was going down in Garage and the double doors there, and FURIA collect another one.
Yeah, miscomm there on what happened when they jumped out the window. Well, at least the trades came through, right? What was really good, though, is, again, Koala Noob answering back toe-to-toe with Silence's running back over on that C site. Look how he moves through the smoke. The other advantage right now for teams to be running a Phoenix is in this double comm. You're thinking about, you know, Sky getting a flash available and refreshable now could be the agent to be played because Yoru only has 1 flash to work with, right? But Phoenix is still one of the better flashes you could have coming outside of smokes. If you don't time a sky flash correctly.
Setting up for a very different first half than a 10-2, Vans.
Yeah,
this is much better.
Alim definitely set up that timing well for that side of FURIA. And again, WinCon is not Koala Noob opping for this team now. It's actually going to be Alim on the op on Neon. Just so that Koala Noob could run around a little bit more here with his rifling.
What do you want to do, Les? He's trying to just play and toy with this. And the old trick of walking straight up to the trip but not setting it off.
Oh, he might find his timing in the pick onto Dante. Yeah, as soon as he backpedals here and he's not looking, Koala could get this pick.
Hopefully he doesn't get shot in the right. Oh, he chooses the right time. There could have been so many instances where that was just a sidestep.
Last player standing.
What a collection by Nerve there to reset the aim as he was looking up towards mid.
How did Les make it through? Did he jump over the trip? I wasn't paying attention to that mini-map.
30 seconds left.
He might have. It looked like he was in a good position, but yeah. Trip still up. He goes down. Artson takes it. That's 7-5 here for FURIA, doing a fantastic job to reset for map 1.
Especially with the start that we had for the side of crew, winning a bonus round, winning 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
And for FURIA to be able to do that right after to answer back and get the lead of this half is actually quite good.
Second half of Haven after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Que llenar más de dinero el pote. Tú vas a dejar de ser hater cuando como yo tú corres.
Welcome back to VCT Americas. FURIA takes first half of Haven versus Crew, looking to force that map 3, and it's going to be a bang-around split. So let's get there. Let's get there.
Yeah. Lots of question marks going into the third map as well. We know that Dante could very much activate on his Neon on the third map of split as they did last week against NRG. But a new look here for Crew on this map looked pretty okay. I think they were trying to do whatever they could here to get some early map control, but I think that's a difference here that you have to praise FURIA for. How good they've been and more proactive on the defensive side on defense that allotted them a lot of these first bloods. The B pushes, the A pushes that they had.
Yeah.
They could have done that on Lotus, but it's a little bit more difficult when there's so many more obstacles and a bigger map to rotate across. But on Haven, it feels to fall into their wheelhouse to be able to play as aggro as they wanted to on that last half.
Just had a few more solutions for things. The shock darts, the ults. Can they take down? I was going to say a solution for less, but not yet. Not yet. Dante sliding down here as Crew. You saw that pistol win rate, and looks like they're just going to pump that number up a little bit here as Koala Noob is searching for safety or just a way to get some money in his pocket before he goes down.
Yeah. And it is now going to be all pistols so far in the hands of Crew.
Yeah.
That said, now that I think about it, you lost pistol, you lost bonus, you still finished 7-5 for FURIA.
Yeah.
So even if you lose this pistol here against Crew, I don't think it's going to affect you as deeply as it should. You should be able to recoup right now and go into the next round. Even Koala, look at him. He wants to save his flashes going to the next round. At least his one.
4 for less. Deadly in the pistol rounds. Deadly anytime right now, honestly. Les and Sadak, just the way that they've been playing, so crazy lately. And everybody's following up. It's like, oh yeah, they can do it. We'll do it too. And Dante sliding in for some more.
Definitely looked like FURIA was not ready for that off angle out in the open here from Lesson. They kind of just blocked themselves when they tried to double swing him. Big bonus round coming up now for KRU. No buy for FURIA. And are they going to try to plant towards this B side? As I mentioned before, sometimes 3-sided maps. Don't know why it always ends up towards B. They're looking to break this trip in the first place.
Just wide to the door. So one of them split, but they still have 4 in sight for the side of FURIA. Silence. The rest of the team trying to get in here. You saw Les firing some pop shots just a second ago. They have his gate to start stepping in if they want, but they're taking time. Gate's down. They have an avenue now to that left side. Still a window. This is going to get tricky. They're going to have to pop out like a jack in the box on this one. KRU is trying to come out of everywhere right now to shut down FURIA, and they are doing so. It's going to be left to one person. Sadak's alive! And Sadak gets the kill. Pulls out the round for his team once again.
Dude, at the end of the day, I really thought it was going to be a clean retake for KRU. Because that first thing is you throw the flame wall not only to burn players down when you're trying to plant, but at the same time you're also denying them for pushing across to get through the back of the spawn to get value off your classics. And then they circumvented that, or they added another smoke on it with the open smoke, then they added the Cypher Cage. Look at that. There's no way they can really move in towards the logs, but somehow playing the way that they did here for FURIA, it ended up being a one-on-one.
Jeez.
He'll take it for sure. Smiles across the board for FURIA, keeping it expensive for KRU.
You see that. Stingers, 1 Phantom and a Bulldog.
But buying Stingers around that is quite interesting as well. And I guess they do have enough money to work with if they want to go for the rifle round, but I think at the same time, if you want to keep that econ way higher, maybe pull out some ops here and there too.
Yeah, their pistol was really clean, right? All the kills happened, no util use, so they've had a bit of pocket change.
That's true.
To keep this going. Spikes down as they continue to roam around. Like, where do they have the shotguns? Where's the judge? Well, it's not going to be a judge. It's less. That Phantom actually goes down. Sadak is playing sketchy right now. Get out of there. Great job by FURIA to identify where they might be able to get these kills. Pushing around KRU a little bit here to make them feel uncomfortable.
But Silence had to use his wall first to pick up the rifle as well, so they have to expect here for FURIA that there is going to be some opponents over on this A line, yet they still want to commit to hit it.
Ooh, I like that. Little hot hands in the relay, in the fast lane. Is this opened up? They're not even letting them up the ramp, Vance. May not need to get up the ramp for these kills. MW0 says, not yet. I will play a lean position to see if I have to go somewhere. Oh, he is just going to go right for it.
Why does it look like I'm watching FURIA on defense on Lotus as well when you're gambling that they're just backpedaling the plant towards the other side of the map, yet it's just a re-hit. This time the coins have flipped and it's actually FURIA just re-walking back into the A site for a free plant. Although they've done some great econ damage for KRU. Remember, this was, you mentioned, 3 Stingers, 2 rifles. It's a 1 versus 2.
Okay, denies the paranoia, but he's still hurt on that, so they get what they want out of it. They're not going to even give him the peek. A nice step by EU to finalize the round. 8-7 here for FURIA.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice little lineup. Did not expect that. At the end of the day, though, it still becomes a nice hit for FURIA, right? They lost 2 players in that process in the front of that line of the A side, yet they still had a 2-on-1 advantage in the end.
Still.
Yeah. And the first wave of util was fully denied. The Lim had to jump in, jump out. Here's aggression coming out from KRU, though.
Oh my God. What? They're at the front door of FURIA right away, and even round after round, it still seems like FURIA's getting caught off guard by this.
KRU's giving a little bit of a taste of real medicine too with the aggro pushes.
Yeah.
This time a little bit of a different look though. They actually used 4 players to move up on that side. That allows here for this little walk-in from Nerve.
Oh, that timing. Sadak calling that they need to make some moves to find the last few players. They have long controlled. An insert mid? They're just doing defensive inserts here. You gotta love the way that KRU wants the information. And he's gonna try to make it work. The slide. Element Artson almost able to make a play together, but they lose one in the process.
The biggest kill too, it's less falling down, so there's no trips on site. You can take some more space if you want to, so that's a big question mark towards that back of the spawn. So KRU is actually rotating out to control Garage first and allow Dante to meet up with him from middle.
Willing to use that and at least identify ones at backside. Oh, Artson thought he might have had another second after that Cypher wire went down. And it was no time at all that he had. Nerve in that same spot. They're just going to keep him in prison right now, take him down when they can. And another round here for KRU. These are getting very push and pull down to the last moment. Everybody's trying to be sure of getting that win.
Another early round 2 where they start off a 5 versus 3 for KRU and almost let that slip. But thankfully they stopped that bleeding. They had to use an ult though to make sure that they guarantee that round. So despite being at a disadvantage for that round for FURIA, you'll take it. You got the plant, you force out the big ult. Outlaw now is, well, for KRU as FURIA has to go for a mixed buy. 5-man death ball attempted towards this A site.
Cover going out.
Allen takes a hit there. Still gonna want to go in. And what's gonna be that util overs? Oh my gosh, Sadak plays a different position just like that. Cleans it up. We saw him doing the same thing in his Lotus games. Up and down on the box, just making them look in different positions. Still putting a bullet in their eye.
You're just trying to walk contact on different angles too to try to catch an opponent off guard.
Yeah.
But so far, KRU's been really good. Just one step ahead. Not necessarily on, yes, on position because of that surprise attack from Sadak, yes, but just placing the crosshair in the right place and anticipating some sort of a walk contact is what I mean by that step ahead that they currently have here.
Less on one. He gets dropped, and this is going to have to be a force plant. Get the money in their pocket. 40 seconds left. I mean, they want to be safe, but still.
Was this 3rd round in a row that they started things off on a 3 versus 5 after a plant? Trying to bait out the swing here from the taps. MW0, though, looks pretty clean on this map of Haven so far. And he's actually been practicing a lot of the scan initiator roles going back in Tier 2 here. After initially having his opportunity to play a couple of teams on the Americas stage, had to come back to show his worth.
Yeah. Said he learned a lot in Tier 2. Was kind of focusing on realizing he, in Tier 1, took things for granted. And then back in Tier 2, kind of learned to respect all that and realized that he needed to build around some of the things that he previously thought were, you know, the correct way to play. And now you're getting the MW0 that's much more focused. Really giving the team what they need. Dante here looking to put some power towards grass. Furia's forced now to push forward, but do they feel uncomfortable yet? They respond quite well to this, only losing Allen. No, they do not feel uncomfortable. They feel great in the chaos, and they flourish with it. That's going to be another round from FURIA, and a very fast round.
And FURIA actually wanted to make the first step this time around, too. They just went for the blind relay bolt right into the garage door as they make a lot of noise, anticipating some sort of an aggressive push out from the KRU side in front of that B side. It works out, kept those 2 players anchored inside the double doors. And because the opening is so tight, you're forced to swing out one by one. It allows for you to get these nice little openers for the attack as they tie up the game.
On the shoulder plays.
Yeah.
Come out together, a slide, double peek mid, duelist straight to B, and fast lane in. Almost the old jet play without a jet. You get the run it back down.
Uh-oh.
All right, so Furia's gained their space, but they have yet to drop a member here. Les is a little hurt, and it's going to be Silence trying to retake already on his own run it back, realizing they can start to break some space right away. And Furia is gaining that space back. Oh, Hunter Fury just off the edge there. Nice jumps by Silence to get out of that, and a good hit by EU as well.
Some players are low, though, and the spike's down towards the back of Gong, so that run it back that you had earlier on by Silence to get that pick is huge. That slows down the round. You have to go back to the contact plays for the duels. Everybody's separated. Sadak is trying to flank with a judge.
No. What do you expect? He's a master with it, but just not this time. Vlasic gets overdriven for a moment. Koala Noob and a limb. Now versus Silence. Double curveball here to get back in. Both throwing it. Oh, it's almost a sidestep, but it is going to be Koala Noob coming up. A very much needed round for Furia. And they keep a round in the lead.
I was just about to mention that Silence had the element of surprise because he ran it back from a C-Link to get that spike down in the back of Gong. They had to expect him to still play towards that side, but preemptively shot the first guy over on the corner of the post plant, which was a limb right there, which allowed here the double setup for both Koala Noob and Elim to trade off this last kill and put themselves back on the board.
These are some bloody rounds, Vance. I can't see the economy when we got out of this. It's like people are still buying, but it's going to get down to 0 and just pocket lit soon for both of these teams if this is what we're getting.
This timeout from Zonic is probably to talk about that next round. Because I think going into this timeout and whatever happened for this back and forth that we've had in the charade between KRU and FURIA, I don't think the money's going to be the best so far for the defensive line. Although, again, another one of those moments where the forward pushes are actually being met by FURIA this time around. So they're finding a groove. Took a couple of rounds for them to figure out a little bit of the defensive look for KRU. FURIA is able to match that with not only firepower, but rounds on top. Going back and forth here in this series. A stinger buy on that defense, but doesn't really look like they were trying to go for anything crazy for KRU. Keep the close range battles, maybe a buddy system as well to make sure that you trade carefully with these stingers to get the maximum value out of it. That's why they have this crossfire set up on left and right on that B site. And Les is given that responsibility to solo anchor solo anchor C with his util and a classic.
See if that smoke peels anybody off their original spot. No. They're not even worried about it. You get a little bit of movement out of MW0 right off the bat, so they have to be worried about if somebody could have gotten into sewers. There's the Prowler.
Yeah, also MW0 threw a haunt in the first place, right? So you threw a haunt into the choke, it never got broken. You wait a couple of seconds to see if they find that timing or try to take that timing into sewers. Now you confirm that the lean is still mid on or C site, at least in the eyes of KRU on a defense. And FURIA, though, as they hear the haunt, they hear the Prowler from their positioning in the first place, and they missed the value of the second one, they could now start walk contacting into this A site, while EU's maintaining that stack over at B. This is actually looking pretty good for FURIA on the attack.
And seeing that with Silence, too, they find out where the Phoenix is, so you can get away from that a little bit quicker, know you're not going to catch a flash to the face, and they have bought enough time to just get a very soft site to enter. 5v5 here. The Stingers could be treacherous for the retake if Furia is not positioned well, but they should be able to clean this up with rifles.
Should be ready for this haunt this time around, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Haunt
easy clean.
broken right away. Ain't gonna fool me twice.
Walls up, a little bit of an avenue of space to get in here. Trying to play anti-flash. There's the Stingers! They got him in close and they start to bite down. Silence still there. A few from the back. Dante and Silence now as they get the slide in, and that's going to be KRU taking down Furia as they get right back into the site.
What better way to get the full value of a 20-clip stinger by just sliding into your chest and just popping it into there? You ain't going to miss there. You ain't going to miss.
They were all tethered to each other. It was just a death string of stingers. And you saw Dante trying to dash in, was still blind even though he tried to play anti-flash, but knew where he needed to go. That's just map knowledge as well in itself. You have to know which way you're going even if you're blind.
Yeah, and I also think it's both Phoenixes too. If I'm not mistaken, Koala Noob also threw his own flash, right? So both of those Phoenixes looking amazing in terms of finding their timings, but unfortunately the shot in the side of a Neon takes the upper hand.
Wow.
And that shouldn't have been a round here won by KRU.
Exactly. Rounds that shouldn't have happened is the name of that round. Okay, KRU seems angry here. They want more. They know they've just flipped FURIA on their head, so they're going to go even harder. And they get 3 alive in a round that's over in what, 12, 13, 14 seconds?
Oh, yeah, they didn't want to give any tempo whatsoever here onto FURIA coming out of a timeout. So, again, they're not supposed to win a stinger round that they bought. You were in a great position for FURIA to play that pulse plant, yet you lost your gunfights. It is what it is at the end of the day.
Jeez.
And then you focus on this round, trying to reset things, and probably the IGL doesn't even have a chance to speak. They're just getting ran down now for that same type of split that FURIA did.
It was 12. I was counting. I was counting, Riv. It was 12.
Thank you, Riv. Back to you, Riv.
You're welcome. The timeout is going to hit. And KRU, FURIA has only been gaining a few back, right? 7-5 at the half, and then a few, but it was brought back. They've never had a good cushion of rounds to feel comfortable and maybe even feel like they can play their own game. They're always reacting to FURIA or KRU, and then KRU take it back right away.
And that was the most important detail, too. KRU winning that round on stingers and then brute forcing their way through within the last round breaks the economy of FURIA going into round number 23.
Crazy.
Right? Or 22, sorry. So that means they have an opportunity to already put themselves at map point and then force FURIA to play the steep uphill battle for the rest of this map if they want to try to win this or potentially push this into overtime. Right now on paper, as we're all seeing in front of our eyes, this should heavily favor KRU on the side. They have ults aplenty. They have weapons aplenty. And then you're just hoping that maybe a shotgun from a limb could open things up for you. And it has to be towards the A side lean. Trying to bait util by jumping out first. And they don't hear anything, so that's unfortunate. Les just walks out of the garage doors and takes him down. Camera gets broken, so you now identify 2 players on this B side and B side lean, so you have no choice but to work towards A again. Player down. 2 players down.
Oh, their peaks are just so clean. Just enough time to take a head off. And then MWZera has ult too. So they could have just kind of waited for sound and played off that. But confidence is there in spades.
Spike planted.
Gonna flash for hell, probably.
Yeah. Some waterfall into the site. See how many people they can get in at once. That's going to sting for Alum. Oh, sliding in. Good Lord. He's like parasailing.
I'm giving that a 4 on 10 on that dive because he broke his legs. He was supposed to land in the boxes, so he wasn't as clean.
True. Well, maybe that's the thing. You think he's going to land on the boxes, but then he falls behind it, and you've already started spraying.
Never let him know your next move.
Never let him know your next move. Absolutely. Land with 1 foot on the box, then fall off maybe. Who knows? A flawless round. We talked about him being bloody before, and then 2 are alive, and then 3 are alive for KRU. Then it's a flawless. And it's match point. It's just mounting on FURIA now that needs to make a play and figure out how KRU keep getting these rounds out from under them.
As you're mentioning, they could have held on to the Nightfall if KRU wanted to for the Flood retake, but now
they still have answers.
Not needing to use it on that previous round, they still have those 4 big ults to work in this round number 23, potentially in round number 24 if FURIA is able to turn this around. And now you're pulling out an op on Dante. This might be like, okay, well, these guys are always pushing hard. Let's just walk contact in the first place, and they might walk into an op. This is dangerous right now for FURIA. A good call to get Dante into the operator this round.
Yeah. Keep him up on the right. He can fast lane out to backside if he needs it. Actually, he's getting help already from MWZera. Actually pulled over. They've switched Les over to A. Dante cleans one up as soon as that smoke clears. They peek it again.
And they don't want that smoke on C, already rotating towards the A site. Potentially even a Hail Mary with the run it back too to take some early sewers control. Ult from Sadak gets the info that you do have nerve there with only 1 smoke remaining. I wonder if they're going to want to cut noise and try to get a second smoke up. Oh yeah, it just came up right now, so they could actually go for the exit now if they want to.
The floor trips are so annoying too. Les takes 1. Uplinks. Rest of the team is done. This is going to force the hand of FURIA. That's 1 trip, slowing the run it back, and it's not even going to be useful for that one. Sadak takes it, and they're clearing more with the hot hands. A beautiful throw from a spawn, basically.
Nightfall, sees.
Yeah.
On top of getting all the information from Les's kill at sewers with the neural theft, You cannot retake this site for the second round on FURIA.
Sadat cleans another one up. The Crews and crew run it back's not having much of an effect on this round, but it's just going to be EU left. They're searching, finds one, but he's going to get scattered here at long A, and MW's there, goes for the wide swing, gets that kill with silence, and they are going to lock in the series. 2-0 Crew over FURIA.